Have you ever noticed how truly intelligent older people speak differently? Multiple studies show intelligent older people avoid saying certain common phrases, and once you hear them, you will understand exactly why. In this video we are going to uncover 5 phrases that the most intelligent older people never say. These are not just habits of speech. They are windows into how someone sees the world, responds to challenges, and carries their dignity with them even in life's hardest moments. And each one is rooted in the timeless principles of Stoic philosophy, which teaches that peace, clarity, and resilience do not come from what is happening around us but from the power we hold inside. So if you are over 60, where you have started to reflect more than react, this video is for you. Because staying mentally strong is not just about thinking harder. It is about speaking more wisely. And by the end of this video, you may realize that a few simple changes in your everyday phrases could not only sharpen your thinking but also help you carry yourself with a sense of strength that others instantly recognize. Now let us get started. Number 1, that is just how I am. There is a quiet kind of defeat buried in the words "that is just how I am." On the surface it might sound like confidence, like someone who knows themselves. But if you look a little closer, this phrase is often used as a shield, a way to avoid change or growth. And that is exactly why the most intelligent older adults rarely if ever use it, because they know that aging is not about freezing in place. It is about evolving, learning, and adapting with grace. When someone says, "that is just how I am," what they are really doing is closing a door. A door to improvement, a door to connection, a door to deeper self-awareness. Stoic philosophy teaches that we are not fixed. That our minds, our character, and our habits are within our control. The Stoics believe that we become what we repeatedly choose. So to say "that is just how I am" is to give away your own power. To pretend you have no say in who you are becoming. But the wisest among us understand that even at 70, 80, or beyond, there is always room to grow. Let us take a real example. Henry, a retired math teacher now in his late 70s, used to get easily frustrated when people did not understand his explanations. For years he told his family, "that is just how I am. I am a perfectionist." But as he got older, he started noticing the distance it created with his grandchildren. They stopped asking for help with school. They were afraid of his sharp tone. And one day, after a quiet dinner where no one made eye contact, Henry reflected deeply. Was being a perfectionist really more important than being approachable? Did he want to be right, or did he want to be remembered warmly? That was the moment he let go of "that is just how I am." He started softening his approach, listening more, and asking questions instead of correcting, and slowly the warmth returned to his family dinners. You see, intelligence in older age is not about being rigid. It is about being wise enough to adapt without losing your core values. Saying "that is just how I am" might feel like strength, but true strength lies in saying "I can do better. I can be better." And that quiet commitment to becoming, not just being, is what separates the stagnant from the deeply wise. So the next time you catch yourself about to say, "that is just how I am," pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow, or am I using it to stay comfortable? Because the most intelligent older people, they trade comfort for character and pride for progress every time. Number 2, it is too late for me. Few phrases sting the heart quite like "it is too late for me." They come out soft, almost like a sigh, but they carry a heavy weight, a quiet resignation that the best parts of life are behind you. And yet if you listen closely to the truly intelligent elders among us, you will notice they do not say these words. Not because they do not feel fear or regret, but because they know one truth that Stoic philosophers have emphasized for centuries. As long as you are breathing, you are not finished. To say it is too late is to place a full stop where there should only be a comma. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave life right now, let that determine what you do and say and think. That was not a call to despair. It was a call to urgency. A reminder that time is precious but possibility is always present. Even if your hands are wrinkled and your back a little slower to straighten. Think about it. How many stories have you heard of people starting over at 70, or discovering love at 80, or learning to paint, sing, or write memoirs at 90? The mistake is not in starting late. The mistake is in assuming the value of your life has an expiration date. There is a woman I know named Ruth. She is 81 and lives in Ohio. For most of her life, she was a homemaker, raising kids, tending to her husband, and running a warm but quiet household. After her husband passed, she said those very words, "It is too late for me, too late to travel, too late to learn something new, too late to feel excited about anything again." But one morning while cleaning out her closet, she found an old camera, dusty and forgotten, tucked behind boxes of holiday lights. She remembered how in her 20s she dreamed of being a photojournalist. That afternoon she walked down to the park and started taking photos of the birds, the old trees, and the way sunlight hits cracked pavement. A year later she was part of a local art show. 2 years later she sold her first photograph. And today she teaches photography to other seniors. Every Thursday at her community center, Ruth did not say it was too late. She said, "Why not now?" That shift from resignation to curiosity is what intelligent aging looks like. It is not about pretending you are 25. It is about reclaiming the value of your time, your story, and your abilities. The Stoics did not believe in wasted years. They believed in the power of this moment right now, no matter how many you have lived before. You see, "it is too late" is just another form of fear dressed up as certainty. But real intelligence, earned graceful intelligence, looks that fear in the eye and says, "I am still here, and while I am, I can still do something meaningful." So the next time that voice whispers it is too late, answer it like a Stoic would, with action, with dignity, with the quiet defiance that says, "Watch me." If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let us move forward. Number 3, I cannot change. The words "I cannot change" may sound like acceptance, but more often they are a quiet surrender. They draw a line in the sand not because change is impossible but because the person has stopped believing in their own potential. But wise older adults, especially those grounded in Stoic thinking, do not speak this way. Not because change is easy but because they know it is always available. If you have the courage to look inward and the humility to grow. The Stoics believe that our true power lies not in controlling the world but in how we respond to it. Epictetus said it plainly. It is not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. And reactions, attitudes, and behaviors, those are all choices. Even at 70, 80, or beyond, those choices are still yours. When you say, "I cannot change," you give away your power. But when you say, "I choose who I become," you take it back. Let us be honest, change is uncomfortable. It asks us to question old habits, unlearn familiar patterns, and take emotional risks. And yes, the older we get, the more deeply ingrained some of those patterns become. But does that mean they are permanent? No. It just means the work of transformation requires more intention. And intention is something age gives us in abundance. I knew a man named Walter, 78, who used to be notoriously impatient. He would cut people off mid-sentence, curse out telemarketers, and even lose his temper over how his neighbor trimmed her hedges. For decades he shrugged and said, "That is just how I am." But after his grandson, a quiet 8-year-old named Dylan, flinched at one of his outbursts, something shifted. Walter did not want to be remembered that way. He started reading about mindfulness. He apologized, really apologized, to people he had hurt. He began pausing before speaking, breathing deeper, and listening more. It took time, and it was not perfect, but his family noticed. His neighbors noticed. And most importantly, Walter noticed. He was not trapped in old ways. He just had not believed there was another way until he did. Saying I cannot change is like putting a lock on a door that is not even closed. It cuts off possibility. It denies responsibility. But most of all, it dishonors the fact that growth is a lifelong gift. Intelligent elders understand that self-development does not stop when your hair turns gray. If anything, it becomes richer, deeper, and more honest. Because by then you know what really matters. You have seen enough heartache to value peace. You have lived enough mistakes to appreciate self-awareness. You have lost enough people to know that the time to become your best self is not tomorrow, it is today. So if the thought "I cannot change" ever creeps into your mind, remember this. It is not a fact. It is a feeling, and feelings pass. But who you choose to become even now, even in this chapter of life, is still entirely up to you. There is no expiration date on becoming a better version of yourself, only the courage it takes to begin. Number 4, I deserve better than this. This one is tricky because on the surface it might sound like a statement of self-worth. But when spoken with bitterness or entitlement, I deserve better than this becomes something very different. It shifts our focus outward, turning us into victims of circumstance. It puts the responsibility for our happiness outside of ourselves and creates a barrier between who we are and who we want to be. The most intelligent older people rarely say, "I deserve better than this," because they understand that true dignity comes from within. The Stoics remind us that external events are beyond our control and that our peace depends on how we choose to interpret those events. To say "I deserve better than this" is to blame the world for your pain. But the wise know that pain is part of life and suffering is often the result of our judgments, not the events themselves. Instead they say, "I accept what is happening. I will respond with grace, and I will find a way to thrive." Let me tell you about Helen. Helen is 85 and has faced a lifetime of challenges, including health issues, the loss of friends, and even financial difficulties. Early in her life, she often said, "I deserve better than this" whenever things did not go her way. But after a long conversation with a close friend who introduced her to Stoicism, she began shifting her perspective. Helen started practicing gratitude for the small joys, for the love that remained, and for the strength she found within. When difficulties arose, she met them head-on with calm resolve. She stopped blaming others or fate and instead focused on what she could control. Over time her bitterness faded, replaced by a quiet strength that inspired everyone around her. Saying "I deserve better than this" might sound like standing up for yourself, but it often masks frustration and helplessness. The truly intelligent elders choose acceptance over resentment, strength over entitlement, and peace over bitterness. So if you catch yourself thinking, I deserve better than this, pause and ask, how can I respond in a way that honors my dignity and moves me forward? Because the power to transform your experience lies not in what happens to you but in how you choose to meet it. Number 5, I am too old for that. Finally, we come to a phrase that many older people repeat, but very few intelligent elders ever say, I am too old for that. On the surface it sounds like a practical statement, but beneath it often hides fear of looking foolish or fear of failure. It can be a subtle way to limit ourselves before we even try. And yet the wisest older adults understand that age is just a number, not a barrier. They know that vitality, curiosity, and joy do not diminish with time unless we allow them to. There is a woman named Maria who, at 79, started taking salsa lessons. She had never danced before but always loved music. Her friends thought she was crazy. Her children worried she might hurt herself. But Maria did not say, I am too old for that. Instead she said, why not me? She threw herself into every step, every rhythm, and every laugh. And the joy she found was contagious. Soon she was performing at community events, inspiring others to move beyond their doubts. Age did not stop her curiosity or her courage. And that is what intelligent aging looks like. Not giving up before you start. Not letting fear dictate your choices. But embracing life with open arms and an open heart. So the next time you feel tempted to say, I am too old for that, remember Maria and remember the joy she found when she chose to say yes instead of no. Because the truth is age does not define your possibilities, only you do. And intelligence in older age is not about what you cannot do, it is about what you choose to do. To sum up, the phrases you will never hear from the most intelligent older people are, that is just how I am, it is too late for me, I cannot change, I deserve better than this, and I am too old for that. These phrases close doors, while the phrases of the wise open them. They represent a mindset grounded in acceptance, courage, curiosity, and, above all, resilience. If you want to cultivate that mindset, begin by listening carefully to the words you speak and the stories you tell yourself. Language shapes thought, and thought shapes reality. So choose your words with intention and watch how your world changes. Thank you for watching, and if you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content to empower your mind and spirit. Remember, it is never too late to become the person you were always meant to be.